deeper you go below sea level, the less sunlight there is. And that's because the sunlight either gets reflected back or simply just gets absorbed by the ocean. Meaning, the deeper you go, the less sunlight there is. But that does not mean there's no light in the deep ocean. Animals have found this amazing way of producing their own light called bioluminescence. Bioluminescence is the creation and emission of light by an animal, and animals use these light to either avoid predators, lure prey, or simply communicate with each other. Just like the deep sea anglerfish, who is able to produce bioluminescence light in order to attract prey. So how does bioluminescence work? Well, for it to work, it has to go through a chemical reaction. And for the chemical reaction to take place, the living organism has to have a molecule called the luciferin, which when it reacts with oxygen, it produces light. And depending on how this molecule is arranged, the color can vary. But most marine animals create blue-green light, since it is the most easily visible light in the deep ocean. And some animals are physically incapable of producing any other light other than blue-green. Some animals can produce their own luciferin molecules, like the dinoflagellates, which is basically a plankton species, and sometimes at night they're able to light up the ocean surface. While other animals are not so lucky, and they have to find other ways of getting the luciferin molecule. One way they do this is either by eating other animals that have the molecule or having a symbiotic relationship with them. For example, squids have bioluminescence bacteria in them that produce light, and the anglerfish have bioluminescence bacteria in its angler that produces light for them. So it seems that bioluminescence is this uncommon and amazing event in the deep ocean. But given how massive the deep ocean is and how often we see bioluminescence animal, it seems like it's a very common sighting in the deep ocean. So it makes sense that some deep sea sharks are able to produce light, making them glow in the dark. In fact, glow in the dark sharks have been discovered and reported since the early 1900s. But scientists are still trying to understand sharks and their bioluminescence capability. And that's exactly what these researchers did out on the coast of New Zealand. They were trawling for fish, which is basically a way of fishing where you have this massive net behind your boat and you drag it across. And they were able to capture 13 kitefin sharks, 7 black belly lantern sharks, and 4 southern lantern sharks. And what they found was that all three of these species were able to glow in the dark or produce bioluminescence light. A special focus was given on the kitefin shark, which makes it the largest known vertebrate to be able to produce bioluminescence light. And all three of these species were captured in the twilight zone, which is about 200 to 1,000 meters below ocean surface. And this zone plays an important role in our ecosystem since it captures a lot of the carbon dioxide and it is home to one of the largest migration on Earth, where massive number of fish and plankton species will travel all the way up to the surface at night to feed and all the way back down during the day. So why is this all important? Especially since bioluminescent sharks have been discovered before. Well, this adds to our understanding of sharks and their ability to produce bioluminescence light. Also, before this study, there hasn't been any records of bioluminescent sharks in New Zealand waters. And let's not forget the discovery of the largest known vertebrate to be able to produce bioluminescence light. It is thought that 57 out of the 540 species of sharks are able to produce bioluminescence light.